Hi, my name is Tara Reck. I am a workers' compensation attorney. I represent injured workers in Washington state. I created this video to share information with you about how L&I uses surveillance in workers' compensation claims. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my blog for more useful tips about your work injury claim. Surveillance is very common in L&I claims and self-insured employer claims. In fact, private investigators take videos of injured workers very often. They do it for several reasons, which I'll go into in this video. The Department of Labor and Industries, or L&I in short, manages L&I claims. L&I performs surveillance after they receive tips about fraud. For example, when an injured worker receives benefits but appears able to do work. Another example is when someone is working while collecting time loss compensation. From a legal standpoint, there's no such thing as fraud in workers' compensation in Washington state. There's only willful misrepresentation. Willful misrepresentation is when you receive payments or benefits you don't deserve, after you trick the system. Therefore, people use the word fraud when they see injured workers abuse the system. L&I takes fraud complaints very seriously. They even have an entire fraud investigation unit. With L&I claims, unit investigators perform surveillance after they receive fraud complaints. Even if someone files a complaint against an injured worker that hasn't done anything fraudulent. Luckily, if you've done nothing wrong, the surveillance won't show anything. I often see surveillance tapes showing people doing everyday activities the best they can. But I've also seen surveillance showing that workers lie about their injuries and limitations. This kind of behavior negatively impacts all workplace injury claimants. Surveillance works differently with self-insured employer claims. With self-insurance, there's a third-party administrator that manages the claim. They can ask for surveillance whenever they want, even if there's no fraud. Many times, the surveillance is useless. It can be hours of film showing injured workers spending a lot of time at home. Or people struggling to get in and out of cars. They don't tell us about these surveillance tapes. We only find out about them later when we do discovery as part of litigation. However, sometimes injured workers are surveilled doing normal things. Like going for walks, grocery shopping, and taking out the garbage. I sometimes see tapes showing workers doing yard work, attending family outings, or going out to eat. Sometimes, attorneys or claim managers share the footage with treating doctors and medical examiners. They do it to demonstrate that the injured worker is more physically capable than they pretend to be. After this happens, some doctors ease up or even remove physical restrictions. Sometimes this is very appropriate. But many times the surveillance video doesn't present a complete picture. It shows things out of context. This typically leads to significant disagreements and litigation. And there's no easy way to prevent surveillance in self-insured claims. Therefore, it's always best to ensure that you are being open and truthful. Describe your abilities and limitations to doctors honestly. And as always, if you need help with your workers' compensation claim in Washington state after a work injury, please don't hesitate to give our office a call. Remember, we always recommend to describe your work injury and limitations honestly to doctors. Report the injury conditions in simple words the best way you can, and you'll be fine.